Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, the final Jubilee normal video for Catalyst number 39, this time using a space team in a single target nuke setting against one snake. The starting hand is greens, which I have, some feelings about. But, there is at least one very good unit that you will use to get your max number 1 rank score, right? 75-9. So, I have a team that can max it out for you. It's skill fused, it's duped out, and it's got, a lot of meta characters. So if you don't have it, then disclaimer number 1 is your results will vary. Because I've got all these units and everything, you got to use what you have available to your own personal box and just make adjustments as you will. And maybe you won't be able to max it, but you'll still be able to get, an okay score. Disclaimer number 2 is these are the units I use for protection gauge, and these are the units I use for skill point gain. I use the skill point units on this stage because I need them, so they'll factor in very heavily on your turn 1 rotation. And then your final disclaimer number 3 is don't forget to go into your Town of Tempest and optimize your space building. So whatever space unit you happen to be nuking with can do as much damage as possible. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, the first team, the max score team for Normal Battle 3 looks like this. We've got Velzard, Veldora, Guy, again, skill-fused Water Soe, Violet, and Shizu. So we're going to be nuking with Violet, who's got the magic buff. Shizu has the weakness strike, alt resistance down. Soe, again, is here for the turn 1 orb changing and his defense skill. And then Guy and Veldora here are to buff. Velzard is here, obviously, to buff. And then we've got Dord underneath her for the passive chance to dodge poison, because that is going to be probably one of your biggest RNG factors here is poison dodging. Since we can't bring Gobta and still make this team work, we're going to have to run it like this. So, you need to dodge all the poisons. Like, you cannot be poisoned at all. So everyone has enchanted poison dodge necklaces on to increase their chance of not being poisoned. So, that's also a pretty heavy RNG factor. And also, Soe needs to be skill fused, because turn 1 we need to use his defense skill. We need to use it a few times, actually. And because this snake kind of hits hard. And in case you don't have it skill fused, and in case he hits the wrong unit, you will take more than 1 damage, and that's going to ruin your run. So everyone on this team is serving a very important job here. Okay, so turn 1, we've got 2 oranges, and we could use Soe, but he's expensive. He's 30 points, so we're going to use Veldora instead. And that frees us up, because we're using skill point units right now, to also use the defense skill turn 1. So orb change, Soe's defense skill comes in, boom. And now we're pretty locked into this run right here. We've also got protection gauge coming, so we can use Velzard next turn, or maybe. I think so, it does. But here, guard power, whatever, 1 damage. Very important. And there's Velzard. Very good hand of Violet right there. We can bring Veldora in. We could bring Guy in. But, we lose that now start of turn passive chance to dodge poison. So it's kind of a gamble to do this. So we'll use the green buff. Boom. We'll now bring Guy in. We'll use the alt rush ability, because we're going to get the EX alt with Violet with all these orbs right here. And we can also now reuse the defense skill from Soe, because now Guy doesn't have that defense, and we need him to have that. So we'll use Velzard again. The greens are now fully buffed. We've used an alt rush ability, so this will get Violet's EX alt. The kill bonus here is turn 3 or turn 2, I think, so it's crazy or something like that. But, ideally you want to nuke before turn 6, is whatever you want to do. So there you go. All 3 poison dodges. Even though he hit type disadvantage Soe, he still did 1. So that's very good there. So now we'll use the magic buff for Violet and send her away. Turn bonus is turn 5. Never mind. Well, we can do that beforehand anyways. So now, let's use the alt swap ability. Boom, right there. And now we pretty much just need enough points to use the synergy buff and the buff from Shizu. So the greens are still fully buffed from Veldora's skill, so we're good here. We just, don't want to kill. Guy does have that magic buff on, so he will do more damage. But here, they're going to put a debuff on us where we do, I think it's guard power, or guard penetration. Yeah, and now we do like 1 damage if he guards. But the AoE, because he's still debuffed and everyone has the defense skill active, still did 1. So now it's turn 4, and we have 130 points, I believe. So we're ready to go. So we're going to nuke right here. So we just take out Soe, we'll use Shizu's buff, we'll use the synergy buff, boom, boom, and then we will use Velzard to give us that damage buff. We also have an alt damage charm on because no one's giving us alt damage here. So we're going to send these orbs first and then Violet just to lower him down a bit. Not that they do anything because he's guarding. Yeah, so that didn't do much. But now Violet comes in and hits for 1.36 million. Not quite 1.4, but the total damage we've done to him will add up to over 1.4 while still taking 5 hits for 0 damage with a max turn bonus. So, turn 5 is max turn. We did it on turn 4. It also cuts the amount of damage we've taken down. So, this is the max score team. Poison dodging is your biggest RNG factor because there's no way to guarantee it, unlike on normal 2 where you can bring Gobta. Because we need everybody on this team. We can't sub Gobta in and make it work. So, there we go. Max team. Let's try something else. Alright, the next team, we literally last month got a pretty good space nuking character in Blanc. So, we're going to use the Primal Demon team now, who is, space and physical, so we're not totally matching up to the enemy, but it doesn't really matter. So we've got Protector Violet, Diablo's got the Pierce and the physical buff, and Sufia is going to be our turn 1 orb converter. She's also space and magic, so she fits well onto this team. And then we've got Jean, who's going to give us that 170% alt damage buff to Blanc because she's Primal Demon. And then we've got Misery to convert the oranges, Pierce resistance down, alt swap if we have to. So, this is a pretty good team, and it's relatively new and recent. So people may or may not have this team available if they don't have, the sweaty max score team. This team can certainly do more than enough damage. It's just that you can also attempt to poison dodge, but we also don't have a defense skill here, so you're going to take damage regardless. So if you're going to use this team, you might as well just live with the fact that you're not going to poison dodge. And if you do happen to, then great. And if not, well, then oh well. Not that big of a deal. It's just that if you do, you'll take just less damage. So Blanc, because her skills cost 0 for the first off, we're just going to use them, and it'll help us get extra alt gauge on every type of orb, which means that these greens will actually give us a bit more alt gauge than what they normally would. And, more importantly, that gets us a Violet, which will stack up the attack on her. Since it's only 5 turns, this team isn't the super greatest thing in the world. Yeah, 857 right there, so already we're taking a lot more than 1, right? And even with type advantage, we still took that much. So now, Diablo comes in, we can use his convert, boom, we can use Misery's convert, we can use another stack of Blanc's attack buff, and also the alt gauge increase on all orbs, and this will just help her get her ult faster and faster, right? So now we're going to start stacking attack up with Violet. That she does have that gimmick where she can use a bunch of skills as many times as you want, but obviously since it's only turn 2, we don't have that many points to use such things. So, we're getting attack stacks more than anything else. Guarded, alright, fine, cool. We've got 1 alt, so there's the poison. We got it on 2 people. Unfortunate, but, Misery missed 1, so that's good. They do have the poison dodge necklaces on, too, so they do have increased chances, but not the highest that we could ever do. So we'll alt swap, we'll convert again with all 3 of our characters. We only have 1 Blanc orb, which isn't really the greatest thing in the world. So, it is what it is. We'll take Diablo out of here. We'll use the Charm skill from Sufia. That'll give us 15% extra alt gauge at the end of the turn once. And then we gotta use it again, because it's the free-to-play unit. But this will just, help Blanc get her EX alt more than anything else, because we only have 1 goddamn orb for her. And we're going to nuke on turn 5. So, there's an AoE. Charm kicks in. Boom, right there. Sorry, Enamor is what it's called. The reason I call it Charm is because that's how it was translated originally during the JP stream, and I've always just stuck with it. And then they came out with actual charms, and then it got confusing for people. So, my apologies. It's called Enamor. But we're also using the charm to give our highest attacking unit extra alt gauge, so we're just like doubling up, tripling up on how to get Blanc's EX alt as quick as possible. So getting stacks of Violet, also very good. Now that she's stacked, we'll use another of her alt and Pierce power buffs, and then we'll send her away. Because we don't really need her. So here, we can use a few things. So we can use the alt, or we can use the... Ooh, yeah, so here we go. We'll use the orb change from Sufia now, right? Or we'll bring Jean in, then use, because that'll bring in a green. We'll use Sufia's orb change, convert it all to green, and then we'll change all the greens to blues. So we were able to work around it in in a fun way, right? So 250 points, another stack of Violet, and now on turn 5 we are ready to nuke because we have enough points to use the physical buff and both of Jean's buffs, and I don't think we can use anything else after that. So we only have Sufi and Diablo. We need Diablo up here, so Sufi is going away. Boom, whole hand of Diablo, awesome. I'm sure people would love a handful of Diablo out there. But let's use his physical buff and Pierce power. We'll use the alt and then the EX alt. And yeah, we don't have enough points to use anything else from Blanc. So, I mean, we're going to do more than enough here. So it's not a big deal. So we'll just go ahead and nuke. His defense leaves on turn 6, but it is what it is. We send Diablo and then 1.6 million. The damage cap is 1.4, so we're very much over that now. And there we go. We took damage. We're still within the turn bonus, though, and we did the max damage cap. Perfect. I mean, this is a relatively new team. People probably did summon for the Primal Demons if they were playing back then, because, Blanc's hot. But there we go. Let's move on. Alright, so the third team is the Visions of Coleus team, another blue stacking team that can definitely do as much damage. Now here, as you can see, we're trying to fit both Gobta and Soe onto this team. So we would have the skill fused Soe for the defense, and we would also have the guaranteed poison dodge from Gobta. Now, in this particular run, I don't do it correctly, and I don't attempt to go for the max score, but this team technically does output enough power, and if you get the correct RNG and you remember who to bring in and what skills to use at certain times, you can probably get the max score with this team as well. Blanc by herself, or not Blanc, but Jean with Blanc and Violet's power buffs will do the damage cap. And you can do it in 5 turns, and again, if you are playing your cards right, unlike what I was doing in this run, I mean, technically you probably could get a perfect run. So I mean, let's show it, and I'll call out where I make mistakes. Okay, so turn 1, Soe will convert. It's just that we're not using the skill point units to maximum efficiency. We would need to bring all 3 of them in, and we'd need to start with 48. But we're not. So we can only orb change with Soe, and we are 3 points shy from using his defense skill. Which, there's the first misplay, is we didn't build the team correctly for this. But I don't think I was thinking of it at the time, because I didn't think it could actually do it. So we don't have the defense skill here. It's fine. We're going to bring all 3 of the ladies up front and send these greens, and then we'll start working on getting full hands of blues. Now, Violet's got the magic power orb change. Blanc has the synergy resistance down and the weakness strike, and Jean has her 170% alt damage and then the 30% personal synergy power buff. So that's why we're going to do so much. We're also running the alt gauge charm as well for the highest attacking unit. We'll bring Gobta in now for his orb change, boom, and his poison dodge, because we're going to need that right here. It's just that we still don't have a defense skill active, and we could certainly have done it. We could have swapped Violet out, brought Soe in, and then used both defense and the poison dodge, and we would have taken less damage here. So there's another chance that I misplayed. Boom, and then another 893. And now we have this hand of oranges, which, I mean, isn't really working well for us, but it also will give us a lot of alt gauge. And it'll get us either very close to or get us the EX alt for Violet. So now Soe will come in. We will finally use his defense skill 2 turns late, and then we'll actually take him away for Blanc. So not everyone has the defense skill. So misplay number 3. Learn from my mistakes is what I'm trying to show you guys, right? Okay, so it gets us close to an EX alt. All right, yeah, 1 damage. Even Jean took extra damage right there. So that kind of was surprising. But we are continually stacking up our attack. We are also guaranteed synergy. So we are going to do a lot more damage to the snake over time than what would normally be seen. But here, we can use Blanc and we can use Violet. Full hand convert. This one last orb right here gets us the EX ult for Jean. So we're looking good, and we have, I believe, enough points now to nuke, since it's these 3 characters that need to actually buff us. And yeah, there we go. 1 damage is very lucky, because otherwise we would have killed, because a crit synergy right there would have just murdered that thing if he didn't guard. So, there we go. 1 more stack of Lumi, to extra 12% attack, and now we'll use all 4 of the buffs. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, we're gonna skip the EX buff. Sorry, we don't have enough points for that. I still think we have enough though. So, and yeah, 2 million right there. We're just fine. So literally this run, like, we do way too much power. We're within the turn bonus, and it's just that I need to be smarter with my skills to minimize my damage taken. We didn't take any poison, which means that we took significantly less, because it would normally do like 1,000 a hit or something. But definitely could make that run look a little better. So if you don't have access to the Exalted Champions team and you can run this, I mean, this would be your next best thing to get the full bonus going for this stage. Alright, the final team I have for you is a non-EX character, at least on the battle line, team. We've got Protector Shuna, we've got Raphael for the stun, strike, and the pierce and all that. Water Rimuru for the orb changing, the hero for the rewind and crit, Water Shuna for the alt buff and orb changing, and then Space Milim for damage. Now, this Space Milim is skill fused, so not only is she giving herself the 50% space attack, she's giving herself that 30% magic power buff that is being enhanced by Drago, both of them. So she will be more powerful than other people who do not have Space Milim skill fuse. So the damage output you see at the end of this will be less for other people. But I mean, it's still it's got all the bases covered. So I mean, it's not a bad team build. It's just no EX characters. They're all really old or free. All right, we're gonna go a little bit faster because the clip's a little bit longer. But turn 1, there's nothing we can do about it. So we're just gonna send the 4 greens. We'll bring Milim in. The hero with the rewind skill will give us an extra turn somewhere, but with no EX ults means that we're not truly pressured, and then we get this hand, which I mean, isn't blues, but it certainly works out pretty well. So we're just gonna go ahead and send it, and this also gets us the first stack of Shuna. So there's the poison. We can't really dodge it or anything. It doesn't really matter. Boom, Shuna stack. So that's Pierce Power Stun Strike. And then we can use the rewind here. We can then swap out the hero for Rimuru, use his convert, and then we can use Shuna's orb change. There's a full hand of blues, plus the 1 Milim orb that we need to get the ult. So I mean, that's great. 121 points back now. It's still turn 3. This team we're going to go to turn 6 for, because we want to nuke when the defense is gone, because it's not as powerful. Rewind kicks in. A lot of Milim orbs right there, which I mean, it is cool. But if this was 2 greens and 4 blues, that would have been even better, because we would have been able to use that. But we're going to use the orbs, or are we going to use the points for Milim first? Oh no, we're not. Okay, we're just going to get more points back. Right? Nope, we're using it. Alright, yeah, don't be dumb. So we're going to apply the Drago, the attack buff, the space, the magic power now, and then hold it in the back. So now we don't really have to worry about Milim's points, and we only need to build up enough to use the 220 that we need from Shuna, Raphael, and the hero. So, I mean, again, that's a pretty good hand right there. We do need to get Milim in here to get a stack, but we can't really I don't really want to mess this hand up, because we'd have no way now to convert that green once we take Milim out, because we'd bring her in for Shuna, but then we'd have not a 6th send. So we're actually going to sacrifice a stack here, essentially, or the ability to get more stacks than just 1. And we're just going to do this. And then next turn, we'll go ahead and bring in Milim to get those 2 stacks. So, boom, a lot of hero orbs. That works out very well, because that means immediately we can just bring Rimuru in and get a full hand of greens, or blues, sorry. So, We don't need to do anything here for Milim, she's good. We just need to stack Shuna on her, and then we'll send her away. And then we'll bring Rimuru in for her, use his convert, and then the green convert. So we'll use both of his skills. And that'll give us a 6-handed green, or sorry, blue. I don't know why I keep saying green. Boom, boom, or that works too. I mean, whatever way. We get a full hand of blues. So boom, turn 5, you can see his defense is leaving on turn 6, which, you know, is a turn after the max turn bonus, but it means that he doesn't have as much defense, which means nuking and hitting that 1.4 million will be a bit easier. So Milim comes in, so alt buff from Shuna, we'll bring the hero in for Shuna now, and then we'll apply the rest of the buffs, so the stun, the pierce, the alt resistance down, and then the crit with one more stack of Shuna Protector, and then we'll go ahead and send, I think, a few orbs here. Yeah, just 2 heroes, 13k, and Milim does 1.3 million. So, you know, not a fully optimized team. She is skill fused, so if you don't have Space Milim skill fused, she's not going to do 1.3. She's probably going to do like 1 million or something like that, or less. But, I mean, it's still respectable for a non-EX team at all. So we took 20k in damage. We didn't quite hit the damage cap. We're 40k off, which, I mean, also isn't bad. But we are no longer hitting max turn bonus either. It's because we're on turn 6 and not turn 5 or before. So there are 4 teams that you can attempt to use for normal Battle 3. The max team, 2 EXs, and then this team. If you have any other teams that you use to beat this, please let me know in the comments so other people can see that and use it. But that's it from me. Take it easy, guys, and I will see you back next time for the boss battle vids, which I'm not currently done recording.